Welcome back to Aesthetics Magazine. Find more skincare resources at aestheticsmagazine.com. In today's episode, we will be discussing life skills. Basic communication skills. Basics. Communication skills are perhaps the most important skills to possess in the aesthetics industry, as well as most other professions. The ability to communicate well is essential for creating and maintaining strong client relationships. In order to communicate effectively with clients, start with a positive attitude and be an active, engaged listener. Maintaining good eye contact, nodding, smiling, and using other facial expressions and gestures help to show that the person speaking is being listened to, as well as that the listener is interested in what he or she is saying. There is a clear difference in engagement and understanding when eye contact is made. Offering verbal feedback and asking questions can help ensure a clearer and more successful communication. Open-ended questions can be particularly useful for starting conversations and keeping the speaker talking. Clarification questions, such as repeating back what the client has said or asking them to explain further, can really help to show that the listener is making the effort to understand. In effective verbal communication, words are not the most important part. Tonality, pitch, volume, and speed are equally as significant. A good, positive tone of voice and a range of pitch and volume help to keep the listener interested and show enthusiasm for the subject. Also, remember to think about the pace. Speaking too quickly may come across as a lack of confidence, and speaking too slowly may come across as patronizing. And most importantly, make sure to speak clearly and in plain language. Active listening and effective verbal communication. Active listening involves paying close attention to what is being said and feeling engaged with the speaker. This skill requires the listener to provide both verbal and nonverbal feedback to the speaker, and also to refrain from interrupting the speaker. It is important to ensure the speaker that the listener is both interested in what is being said and also to create an environment where the speaker feels safe in expressing thoughts and feelings. The aesthetic industry is a competitive industry. Professionals rarely work in isolation, and they must communicate with colleagues and clients on a daily basis. Effective verbal communication is about speaking effectively, being clear and concise, and being able to tailor your message to your audience, whether it's in one's personal or professional life. Effective communication is important for strong relationships to be built. And you must build relationships, whether it is with your colleagues or clients. Using phrases such as, "I understand how you feel," and "I can appreciate what you are saying," will make the speaker feel that you are connecting with them and that you are also validating their feelings. Effective verbal communication is dependent on a number of factors and cannot be fully isolated from other important intercultural communication skills. For example, a competent communicator should know how to express ideas without including offensive language, how to understand and be understood by another person, and also how to interact with people from different social, cultural, and linguistic backgrounds and with different capacities to communicate. Competent communication is not just about making one's own message heard. It is about listening to the other's message, understanding the other's message, and also about engaging in an active and positive way with the other person. This is particularly important, as aesthetic professionals will often have very different clients and people walking through the door every day. So effective communication is not just about understanding the person communicating. It is about being able to communicate with clients in a way that is easy for the client to understand. And what constitutes effective communication is often very different from the aesthetic worker's perspective than it is to the client's perspective. Nonverbal communication and body language. Good communication in aesthetics involves more than just using the right words. In fact, much of what we communicate to others is done without speaking, that is, through our behavior and gestures. This is known as nonverbal communication, and it can convey a great deal of information. Body language is a specific type of nonverbal communication, and it plays a significant role in the aesthetics industry. Both clients and estheticians use body language to make assessments and to communicate with one another. As a professional esthetician, it is essential to be able to read and understand the body language of your clients, as well as to control your own. This will ensure that you are able to respond to the needs and concerns of clients and to make a good connection. In addition, being aware and in control of your body language can help to create a calm and professional environment, a space in which effective client experience and treatment can take place. Common forms of nonverbal communication in the treatment room include eye contact, touch, expression, and gestures. However, a close watch should be kept on these forms of nonverbal communication, as they may vary significantly depending on cultural differences and the personality of the client. For example, in some cultures, it is traditional not to make prolonged eye contact, as this may be seen as challenging or threatening. Also, a client who is naturally quiet and reserved may still enjoy their treatment, even if they do not seem to be responding warmly. Such signs of body language may also be indicative of a client's self-treatment. By recognizing particular cues of body language or behavior, a professional esthetician can adapt their method of treatment appropriately. Last but not least, self-awareness of body language is just as important as the ability to read the body language of others. As a professional in close contact with clients, the findings could show excessive swearing, an insufficient standard of appearance, or any poor manner which could be picked up by clients may significantly harm the reputation and career of the esthetician. Self-control and seeking personal improvement in body language can boost favorable impressions from any client. These skills also form a professional image, which is essential in career development. Building rapport with clients. Rapport is a close and harmonious relationship in which the people or groups concerned understand each other's feelings or ideas and communicate well. In the realm of client communications, building rapport is key. A comfortable, trusting relationship leads to higher levels of customer satisfaction and retention. When clients feel comfortable, they are likely to communicate more effectively. They are more honest and reflective, and can provide you with the information and encouragement that makes your job as an expert in helping them more effective. When the client makes their initial appointment, the foundations of your relationship are laid. If you, as the esthetician, greet a new client with a massive intricacy of forms to be filled in and a complete disinterest in them as individuals, your chances of building positive rapport are diminished. Remember, since everybody who works in client-facing areas will use certain standard forms of questioning, for example, for health issues, contractions, client wishes, etc., it is important to focus on when in the conversation or time period these standard forms are used and what other forms of questioning, probing, leading, etc. A client will often respond physically as well as verbally to the communication with yourself and others. Communicating knowledge without actually using words can occur. Tapping the forehead with a finger indicates thinking. Tapping the small finger can indicate nerve tension or impingement in the cervical spine, and so on. Always remember that the reason most people visit an esthetician is because they need help and guidance in what you are already an expert in. Cultivating positive connections in conversations with clients builds a productive and reassuring therapeutic foundation, promoting confidence and loyalty between the client and application, the aesthetic procedures. It's time to level up your skincare product expertise. Are you confident explaining vitamins A, C, and E to your clients? Stop guessing! Get the Essential Guide by Greg Risha, Understanding Vitamins in Skincare. Get your copy today at aestheticsmagazine.com.